Welcome back. Hello, everybody. It's Journey On. Just the two of us, you and I, Pastor Karl and Jim.
I was singing that in my head as you said that.
Yep, every time. The first thing I have to state, I realized as we started recording, I'm wearing a green shirt, and my background, the green screen behind me, I usually do video magic. So if I'm just a floating head, it's because I couldn't work anything else out. So I might just be here up, which will be fun.
Fine.
Yeah, we'll see how it
You've
goes.
been accused of having just a torso, so now people is going to get the rumor going that maybe he's just a head.
Just a head, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I missed everybody this last week. I had a fantastic motorcycle ride with a buddy, and thanks to the wonders of technology and our tech team, I was able to watch the service earlier today. And
cool.
So I got to see that. So in review, this was it. The Screwtape letters. Yeah. This was the final message of Screwtape, the series. And which I hope, we should have a spot somewhere where we retire those little logos, the logos that are created for each series. We should have a place where we have those available because they're so creative and
you're right.
Maybe we can add that to our webpage or maybe Facebook or something where we can go back.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
I know with Proclaim, there's a spot in Proclaim for our computer. At both locations. They do get saved in Proclaim. Nice. I don't think they're publicly accessible, but that's a great idea.
A Hall of Fame for our series.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great idea.
So we had indifference is not a spiritual gift. That was the theme of what we were talking about.
Yep.
And I really appreciate being able to go back to YouTube and watch the service, not only because I missed it, but because I can go back and listen to parts again. I did that a couple times because I wasn't like I read your notes. I got that for sure. But wait, what was that thing that we said? And it was helpful for me.
Sure.
I love the idea of which restaurant did you use? Royal Fork, right?
Royal Fork. Have you heard of it?
Oh, yes. Yep. Definitely had those. A big one when I was a kid was Bonanza.
Same idea.
Kind of a combination of buffet and you can still get your steak grilled. And
you got your steak. And weren't they usually like a quarter of an inch? Not too much there, but you could have as many as you wanted, right?
Yes, absolutely, and we did. And and then all the extra food that you have, and then the idea of quantity over quality. That's that's a big thing. And in terms of our soul, that's an important question, something we need to think about. And I appreciate how you did that. Going through with the toast that Screwtape gave, it felt, in listening to it, it felt kind of like a summary of all of the letters and just kind of giving a bigger picture perspective on what the demons want, like what they were doing and what he was saying is the right thing, right? The opposite thing. So the few that you talked about specifically that Satan is subtle, that was obvious, very clearly through all.
Not subtle. It wasn't subtle that he's subtle, was it?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That gentle slope that, because there are decisions we can make as humans that can cause us to quickly separate from God. Right. And we could talk about what those are. There's the biggies, right? and then there are the glut of other ones that just kind of gently bring us down. Where we're slowly separating. And it would be, if we had iPhone just came out with a significant update that has a lot more data and some things that we can do with the screens and everything. I'd love it if they could somehow connect to our souls and give us the, I want to see what's, not just my steps, but how's my soul doing?
How's my soul doing? Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see the highs and lows.
Gal, is it as crazy as we are for technology? You know what I think would happen with that is we would become a works-based faith. And it'd be like, oh, I gotta do some,
I gotta raise my soul numbers.
I gotta raise my soul numbers, exactly.
All right, good.
I can't go to bed yet. I gotta break.
Thank you for talking me out of that. Yeah,
okay,
I'm not gonna create that app now.
I have trouble with the steps and the calories and all that stuff. I don't need to add one more there.
Yeah, when my watch tells me it's time to stand, and then I stand up.
Stand. Yeah.
stand up for a couple seconds and it tells me what a good boy I am, I feel pretty silly. I don't need that for my soul. Thank you for bringing me back
Okay.
down to earth here.
My pleasure.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and those small sins, a few that you had listed, everyone's doing it. And you didn't use the word lust, but you talked about the idea of lust, right? The kind of
Absolutely.
the
Yep.
opposite of mind your own business thing. And
Hmm.
then the idea of doing what is needed. I've had jobs like the ones you described where I
Yeah.
had to give up, and I don't know if this is proper terminology for us as a Christian family, but what it felt like to me was giving up part of my soul. And,
Sure.
not selling it to the devil or anything like that, but I'm
Right.
like, if I have a whole soul at the beginning of the day and I have to go and do these things for my job and little bits and pieces come away, that's that gentle slide
Yeah.
downward and
Yeah.
causes those holes that we try to fill with other sins and
Right.
round we go. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that not
Absolutely.
doing that is
And even if a little bit of your soul isn't dying, it's still the same soul, just beat down.
hmm hmm
Satan's idea is creating wedges. He wants to create
yeah.
distance, so slide a wedge in there, and yeah, I mean, he gets enough of those wedges, and pretty soon you feel like you're so far from God that why would he care?
Yeah.
I just keep doing the same thing. I'm unforgivable, which is one of the
Yeah.
biggest lies
Woo.
Satan. One of the biggest lies
Mhm.
Satan promotes, or whatever word, is that we're unforgivable, and we are not unforgivable.
Right.
And I love this. It's I guess people would probably say it's cliche, but I don't feel it's cliche. There's nothing, Jim, there's nothing you can do that will make God love you more.
Hmm.
There's nothing you can do. If you had your soul app, there's nothing you can do to where it goes, oh, finally God loves you, because he already does as much as he ever will,
Yeah.
which also means there's nothing you can do that'll make him love you less.
Hmm. Hmm.
Again, no need for an app, right? Because we know
Right.
the issue then becomes God loves us, but he doesn't accept all our actions, right?
Right. Right.
He accepts us, but not all
Hmm.
our actions. And so we need to
And
get in
that's
line with God. Yeah.
that's another amazing thing that he can do that humans really struggle with, loving someone and not liking what they do. That can be a really tough one. I
Yeah.
have to confess, you've talked throughout the series about wedges, that Satan's driving wedges, and every time you do, I think of potato wedges, and then I get hungry
Oh,
for a steak, and so my mind drifts every time you talk about wedges for just a little bit, and then I have to refocus back in. So, not
that's
your
okay.
fault. Yeah,
I think that's they're also called JoJo's, right? Aren't they called JoJo's? Same idea. You cut a
I've
potato
heard
in
of that.
fourths.
Yeah, yep.
You
Oh,
cut a
these
blank
aren't.
in fourths.
I think of basically what I'm thinking of as wedges are just bigger French fries that are cut into a wedge shape, not
Yep.
into
Okay.
quarters. Like into a
Oh,
quarter, that would be
pretty big. They're pretty big.
yeah, that would be pretty big. Um,
Yeah.
okay, okay, check. We've talked about food.
We
Moving
nailed it.
on.
You
Oh, we have
nailed
to
it.
talk about that too coming up here. Let me put a note so I don't forget. It's
Okay.
potluck coming up here in Fargo
Potluck.
and Bismarck.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so all right, back to
Okay.
last
Sure.
weekend's message, dangers of being lukewarm.
Hmm.
So this quote that you had, enough Jesus to satisfy the craving for religion, but not enough for eternal life. That idea that we're an unenthusiastic Christian
Right.
I mean, it's a dreadful idea and something that I can look at any given day and say, was I hot enough? Right?
Hmm.
And was I just lukewarm? Was I cold? Was I
Sure.
focusing on other things? So that was a good. I guess I really don't have much to talk about there, other than I appreciated that as a one of
Hmm.
those moments and things I can think about each day. So,
I honestly think if
yeah.
we thought about that more often, if we thought about is am I being indifferent
hmm
in this decision? Am I being lukewarm? Is it something that I'm just going with the flow, or what's my motivation? Especially if we feel like it might be something that goes against God's will,
hmm
right?
Right?
Um, yeah, if we thought about that just for 15 seconds,
Yeah.
I think it would change a lot of our courses of action. Because as Christians, we don't want to grieve the Holy Spirit. We don't want to separate ourselves from God. We don't want to, God upset.
hmm
Yeah, obviously. And but we forget that
Yeah.
because we forget stuff so easy.
Yeah, all part of the human condition, right?
It really is. Hmm.
And then you went into a section about inviting him in. And the idea that when he comes in, is he fully in? And there's a word, compartmentalize. I think we might have talked
Oh,
about it here before. And that's,
sure.
it's all of these different rooms that I have, whether it's in my brain and my soul, in my life, right? These
Yeah.
different rooms that, well, you, Pastor Karl, don't need to look in this room. And Jesus, you could probably stay out of that one. There's a couple others I don't need you in as well. And
Yeah.
that's not that when I'm at my best, when I consider myself to be, in that balance that we're all looking for, the serenity
Hmm.
that we're looking for,
Hmm.
those are all open. And it might be embarrassing, it might be
Sure.
guilt-inducing, but it's also in the long run able to relieve shame, because if it's
Yeah.
shameful to me, it's because I'm hiding it. And if I can put it out into the light, then that's letting him in fully. He's
Yeah.
knocked, we've let him in, and we're not just, peeking through the door to see if we could have a
Yeah.
conversation that way. So yeah, that was a good analogy. I appreciated
That's
that one too.
that was beautifully said. Absolutely beautifully said.
Thanks. Thanks.
Hmm.
So then, yeah, you went living at peace, please. I like that. That's a good way to live.
Hmm.
And then you wrapped up with another one of those, call it a zinger. There's no gray
Singer, sure.
area. Yeah, no
Yeah.
gray area with God. We
No.
overcome evil with good, and it's not a requirement, or it's not a recommendation. It's a requirement. Like, well, it's better if we love through the difficulties. No, that's not how it is. It's you will love through the difficulties. That's God. God doesn't request it; He commands it, right?
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whew. So thanks again
Nice.
to yeah,
What am
thanks
I
for
here
the
for again? What?
yeah, thanks for the well, you say it the first time, and then I get to say
Okay.
it the second time, and
Oh,
and
okay.
maybe
I like
we've
that.
got some extra notes along the way, and that's what I
Perfect.
appreciate about being able to do this. Yeah. And again, for our tech team, for our musicians, for the folks that are keeping all the buildings up and running, my appreciation. So thanks for that. And then this coming week, we're in between a couple of series now, and we
Yeah.
have just kind of a, I don't know, what do you call, a one-off message, or just an important message that we need to hear that doesn't
Yeah.
fit under any of the other file folders that you keep in your brain for
Sure.
messages, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, what's interesting about this weekend's message
Hmm.
is it ties in with what I talked about last weekend with Romans 12.
Okay.
Do not repay evil with evil.
Okay.
And so especially in our nation, in kind of where it's at with the last 2 weeks,
Hmm.
there have been, and I'll be honest, I've been fielding a lot of calls. What are we supposed to do? When are we going to talk about this? And I actually, one of my friends sent me, what do you call it, a little short video,
Oh,
and it was some pastor somewhere. Uh, I actually don't even know who it was. And he said, if your church isn't talking about, and then he laid these things out. If your church isn't talking about these things, you need to find a new church. And
mm,
I was actually kind of set back and went, well, yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that, but not in the way that he made it sound.
right, right.
There was an aggression. And
Hmm.
so we are going to be talking about exactly what he was mentioning, but the opposite of what I believe he was inferring. And I
Hmm.
don't know the guy. We've never sat down and talked, but you can tell a lot from tone. And
Right.
basically, it is when you feel you're under attack, or you feel like your family is under attack, or when you feel like your livelihood is under attack as a Christian. What are we supposed to do? Because we
Right.
aren't supposed to just sit on our hands. Never in the Bible does it say, "Oh, fall into the darkness, sit on your hands, don't say a word, be quiet." Never
Hmm.
says that. So there are things that as Christians we are supposed to do, and God has very specific commands, and there's very specific reasons for the things we're supposed to do. And
Hmm.
then this is the part I love the best. And then he sends his son, Jesus, to show us exactly how
Right.
to implement this into everyday life.
Right.
And so we never as Christians need to, do the shoulders up and the what are we supposed to do? We know
Yeah.
exactly what we're supposed to do. We just need to
Good.
read our Bible. So that's what we're going
Well,
to talk about.
right, and that's a big part of why we have the family that we have, right? The ability to interact with each other, and
Hmm.
and help with discernment. That's the word I was looking for. It's to
Discernment's a
help
great word.
discern, okay, what are we going to do about this? Because there's a lot of knee-jerk reactions we can have. We
Yep.
can have
Yep.
impulse
Yep.
uh, feelings. We can't help our feelings, but we definitely should, can, and must take responsibility for the actions that we take
Absolutely.
to follow those up.
Yep.
So, and you'd mentioned before we started recording, great conversation. Again, if you guys missed out on the things that we didn't record, it's because we didn't record them. But it
We
was a
did record them.
fantastic, yeah, it was a
Good
great
stuff.
conversation. I appreciate it. And you said that the title of this coming weekends is "The Powerful Unclenched Fist."
Hmm.
And that gives me an image of what we'll be talking about. I appreciate that as a title. And then you also said so Romans 12, specifically 17 through 21. Just read
Hmm.
Romans 12 would be my recommendation.
Heck
And then
yeah.
again, moving forward to First Peter. You mentioned we've heard from Paul. Let's listen to Peter now.
Yeah.
First Peter, the second chapter, verses 18 through 25, or
Right.
there again, First Peter chapter 2 would be good to
Heck
read.
yeah. Yeah.
Great opportunity to read ahead. And a couple other things that are happening
Mm.
in our churches. First, the potluck is this Sunday in Bismarck.
Correct.
We've got some great music lined up as always. Did I see you're on the stage? Are you coming to Bismarck?
I will not be in Bismarck this weekend.
Oh, oh, you're missing the potluck.
I know.
My
I know.
goodness.
I am.
Okay. Well, we'll love you through it
Okay,
and
please.
yeah, and have some for us. I think it's breakfast food themed or brunch food,
Yes.
if I remember
I've
right.
heard both, and I think they mean kind of the same thing, I think, to
Yeah,
me.
it can be. I mean, you might have a little more lunchy things involved if it's brunch, but like I've been to some
Sure.
brunches where they're like baked ham, which I wouldn't consider like a full baked ham that they're cutting
Oh,
pieces off of and prime rib and things like
yeah.
that. I don't think we're going to be doing any of that, but
No,
yeah, like more breakfast kind of things. Yeah.
that seems a little, what's lunch and supper? That's a little lupper, if you will.
Lupper. Yeah, we could
Yeah.
yeah, maybe we could do a lupper. Maybe that's next time.
Okay, we'll do lupper
Consider
next time.
all right. And then October 25th in Fargo
Yeah.
is the grand opening and the chili cook-off
Chili
and
contest. Yeah.
all the cool things that are happening there. So October 25th for sure. Fargoites,
Fargoans.
Fargoans. Okay.
Hmm.
Would want to be there, folks around Fargo, and then from Bismarck. Let's start talking about who's gonna travel out together and
Yeah.
attend. And
That'd be fun.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
very
that'd be a lot of
very
fun.
excited for that. Of course, October 25th, it'll be beautiful weather, probably still in the 80s, uh, partly
Okay,
cloudy. Yep,
sure.
that's what we're shooting for. We'll see how that
I
works out.
appreciate the optimism. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Anything else going on that we haven't covered so far?
Um, no, we're
Okay.
still just picking away at the
Mm-hmm.
to-do list on the building.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're really pushing grow. And I know we'll be talking about that in Bismarck too, with our next board meeting. Just some different ways, get some different ideas that we can just be light to our
Mm-hmm.
community and share that love, because that really is what it really all is about is loving each other.
Yeah, serve
Yeah,
others, love others. I think it's
yeah,
it
exactly
seems
right.
pretty simple. We should just do that. Let's start
Let's
there and
just do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice. You know what? You're welcome. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. But before we go, do you have any final thoughts for us here today?
I do. That was a
I'm
great
gonna
final thought. We should have canned it right there.
yeah.
Um, so what we're talking about this week, and I just want to get people kind of thinking about it, is I guess it's easiest to ask this question, and I really want people to take some time and soul search. And if you find yourself with nothing to think about, which I'm sure that happens to so often, ask yourself. It's not a loaded question; it's an honest question. Do I trust God?
Mhm.
And I think what we're going to find is most of the time,
Mhm.
most of the time.
On a scale
So
from 0 to 100, how
yeah,
how much are we trusting him right in this moment?
yeah. And
Yeah.
so then in that, because I doubt there's going to be anyone that says just absolutely yes. I doubt it.
Hmm.
Uh,
If you are that one that says 100% yes, please write a book.
yeah, please.
Thank you.
Yeah. And and then where are those spots where I don't trust him? Because
Mhm.
that's where God is going to be working on you. I promise. I
Yeah.
promise. So
Beautiful.
that's the challenge.
That is. I love that, and love everything that we have coming up. I really don't have anything else for today. So thank you, Karl, for being here.
Thank you.
For sure. And I do love doing this. And I want folks to know that when we have these conversations and we send out the recordings and everything, I consider it a real blessing that we get to have these chats. And if anyone else out there is interested in joining, whether it's on the show here, because we love having guests. It's a lot of fun. We can, as many as want to come on to talk about anything that's happening with the church, something that's happening in your life. One thing we haven't done here yet is testimonials. And if anybody feels like they have a story to share, but maybe they're not ready to do it in front of, the audience, right? If you will, a group of people, this might be a good way to do it too. So anything like that, just please let Karl or me know, and we're happy to do that. So that said, thanks for spending the time, and we'll see you soon. God bless.